Hello, film students. For this assignment, it's going to be easier for me to explain it in a video than to write it down and have you interpret it that way. Um, it is another assignment where you're going to be making a short film. This will only work if you have access to some kind of camera. Your phones have cameras. I think all of you have a phone with a camera, so that should work. But if you really don't see a way to complete this assignment by filming it, then it is okay for you to do storyboards. My rule for this is that I'm going to give you an entire week to complete this assignment. That doesn't mean that we are taking Wednesday off. It means that you should spend the time that you would have spent on Wednesday's assignment and put that into these projects. So I want these to be good. If it looks like it took you 15 minutes, then you are going to get that percentage of the score. I'm going to take points off if this looks very unprofessional. Now, here are the rules of the assignment. You are going to choose one of those three scenes that I listed in this assignment description. That is the opening scene. This is when they are walking with their feet towards each other, with their feet. You could choose the Miriam murder scene that takes place in the glasses, the reflection in the glasses, or you can choose the carousel scene at the end. And you are going to watch that scene multiple times to really sort of absorb how Hitchcock created it. At the beginning of this semester, we talked about how Hitchcock is an auteur. We talked about how his fingerprints are all over his films, which means that you can tell that it is a Hitchcock movie just by the choices that he made in the editing and the cinematography, and not just in the thematic matter, right? So it's like the actual way it looks like a Hitchcock movie. At this point in the semester, you maybe have noticed some of those things. The cross-cutting that Hitchcock uses is very distinct. So that opening scene where they're walking towards each other, we see examples of that kind of editing in a lot of different Hitchcock movies. You might have noticed the way that he films kissing scenes. I've actually seen a lot of you guys commenting on that in your writing about how Hitchcock seems to want to make us feel very uncomfortable in these romance scenes. There's lots of different ways that we see his style coming through. So watch the scene multiple times, absorb that style, and then I want you to think of a different style. Now, this will look different for different students. Some of you are way into movies and you could watch a Wes Anderson movie without knowing it was a Wes Anderson movie, and you would know within 30 seconds that it was. Some of you, might love Michael Bay, and you could tell what a Michael Bay movie looks like, or a Christopher Nolan movie. So some of you are big into film and you know directors. So if you are that person and you have a certain director in mind, you can remake the scene in the style of that director. So you are kind of imagining that Wes Anderson had filmed Strangers on a Train, and what would the Miriam death scene look like if Wes Anderson filmed it? That might require you to watch some YouTube videos. There's tons of resources on what director styles look like. And then, or you could, even if you wanted to spend the time, you could go back and watch a couple of that director's movies so that you can then create a film that looks like one of his or hers. If you don't know a lot about movies, second option, you probably know some television show or some movie really well. So like, let's say you love The Office, or you've seen The Office 17 times, whether you love it or not. You can remake this scene as though it were a scene in The Office. So if someone died by strangulation in The Office, what would that look like? The Office probably would not use the reflections of inside the lens of a glass, right? They were not that artsy. They would find a different way of doing it. Maybe it's like a secret clandestine filming in the warehouse type of shot. But you could remake it in the style of something that you love very much. So a television show, or let's say you just like really love a certain movie. Let's say you love Bohemian Rhapsody, so you're going to turn this scene into a musical. Whatever you do, you are trying to mimic the style of your chosen source. So here are the rules. You do not need to set it in the same place. So it does not, if you choose the carousel scene at the end, it does not need to be set on a carousel. That would be pretty tough to do at any point, but especially right now when all carousels are shut down. Um, if you do the Miriam murder scene, you don't need to set that on an island. You can change up the characters if you are doing a film the style of Greta Gerwig, for example. Maybe you need all female characters. You can change up the dialogue. You can change up everything. What you need to keep at the core of it is, in the opening scene, it's about two people meeting. In the Miriam death scene, it is about someone dying, being murdered. And in the carousel scene, it is a fight scene between two people. And I want you to try to get the same emotions in the scenes, but in a different style. And now that I think about it, you could also, if you wanted to do a parody of that, and so you're like kind of like you're getting the same emotions, but we're going to laugh at it, that's okay too, if that makes sense. So it's a bit tough of an assignment because here you are on your own in your houses. You're going to have to recruit some people to be in a little movie with you, or you could get really creative, and that's really what I want to see. I want to see you like. Do you remember when we watched that clip from Be Kind Rewind when they Swede the movie? They Swede Ghostbusters is what they call it, and so they like remake Ghostbusters in this way low budget style. And I said, hey, I hope your movies are better than this because we have all this time to plan it. This movie that you're doing right now, it can be in that style. I want you to get super creative. Use the resources you have around your house and show me what you can do. So again, you have an entire week to do this assignment. I will post a little reminder next Wednesday to be working on it, but you will be turning in this assignment next Friday. And so I want to see your very best work. And if you have any questions between now and then, make sure you ask them early on because I can't give you extensions on this Canvas work. It's too hard on both of our ends. So I will talk to you later. Have fun with this one and stay safe.